Yes, sir.
You gonna get your ass fired or what?
Oh well, I'll do whatever it takes to fucking get up in there. I'm gonna leave my phone on mute while you do
Okay,
your thing.
but listen, I'm trying to be realistic with you. Okay, I don't want you to get fired from your job. You're spinning out of control over this laundromat lease, and you need to keep the reality of your life intact. Okay, calling me 3 times a day, texting me at 4:45 in the morning. We're not going to call a landlord in California at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just saying you need to. This is not some kind of a dream, and you need to have your job straight. Not, oh, I'm going to hide my phone in my pocket while I'm laboring. So that said, waiting on these people is all part of this. What we have is a horrific, disgusting, filthy laundromat that is operating very, very poorly, and they don't want the tenant there any longer. Yet we negotiate. We've got 12 tons of free air conditioning. We've got free rent. We've got you obtaining the store for nothing. And then they email back and say, we want to see your financials. This happens probably 2, 3, 4% of leases. This is not standard. Look at this space. We're not talking about Walmart and McDonald's. These are nail salons and barber shops, yet they've decided they want to come back. The leaseor is asking for financials. They would like a list of your business locations and experience, a snapshot of your credit score, and either proof of funds, front page of recent tax statements, or the attached financial statement, Okay, so this is the fear that keeps anyone from starting any business. Oh my God, they're going to ask for all this stuff. Do they need it? No.
Right.
They want it, but they don't need it. They're the decision makers. There's no bank involved in this. So I'm not going to sit here and be academic with you and talk to you about all of this so I can talk to them about all of it. I'm just going to talk to them about how it relates to laundromats and the truth of it. The only thing you need to get credit for is equipment. That's it. Not for this lease, but the equipment. And the distributor can come on board and help you with the ancillary costs, folding tables, change machines, all of that. Those of us who do this dozens and dozens and dozens of times know this. People that have 10 laundromats are never going to spend a penny on number 11. No way. It becomes a game. I won't spend a dime. And I don't mean credit cards. I don't mean credit. I mean going to the distributor who goes to the manufacturer and gets your loan done. You know all of that. But all you're concerned about spinning out of control is calling these people back. And we don't call them back. We get what we want by ignoring them most of the time. Because first they say, oh, we want to see a snapshot. We want to see this and that and the other. And then a week later, checking in to see on those financials, that proves that they are more desperate than you are because we've ignored them. And then, for the love of fuck, I get an email 2 weeks later that she spoke to you. She called you and you talked to her. Or did you call her?
No, she called me.
Why did you talk to her? Just tell the truth. Don't give me a bullshit. Oh, gee whiz, I didn't know it was her. Not sure who it was. She blocked her line. Why did you talk to her?
Honestly, I just thought I was going to miss the opportunity. You know?
You spoke to her out of desperation. You hired someone to do the job, and then you spoke to her. How'd the conversation go? What was that like?
She said she's waiting on you to respond to the email, and she was trying to wait on you to call her back. So
no, she said, I want your financials.
I think she said that, but she said she was trying to get in contact with you. Basically, the gist of it.
How long was this conversation? How long was the call?
I want to say like 3 minutes, maybe.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
What was the gist of the conversation?
So the only thing she was asking about is that she had a verbal agreement from you, and she was trying to get in contact with you. So she doesn't want to move on to the next tenant and sitting waiting.
Is this your laundromat?
No.
No. The only way you're going to get equipment at the proper price is by having a lease in hand. And the only way that the equipment manufacturer is going to give you a loan, and they're the only ones that will give you a loan, is if you have a lease in hand. That is the qualification. I'm not here to ask you about what money you have saved or what your credit score looks like. This is bullshit. We don't have a lease yet, my friend. They're saying we will not draft a lease until you give us your financials. Fuck off. Do you understand that? You go to buy a car and they look at your shoes and say, I want to see your credit score before I show you which car we will sell you. That's what they are doing. Do you understand?
Okay.
You don't understand, or you wouldn't have talked to them. Please, for the love of God, mute your phone. I am doing my level best to get this done for you, but you, like many other clients, are cutting me off at the knees by doing what you're doing, conversing with them, talking with them, texting me at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't need that. Come on. Let's call her back. Let's see what happens here. Again, I'm not going to explain everything I'm going to say. I don't know if you're going to hear any of it, but please mute your phone.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Hi, Danny. How you doing?
Never felt better, never had more.
I love it.
Janice, I think there might... Do we need to get Daniel on the phone, or is it just us?
I mean, I can get him on the phone.
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay, I didn't know. I debated. He's in the car right now. He could get on. He's on his way up to where I'm at. So, I think that the issue, I think not even an issue, maybe, is they were just asking for some kind of financials and then like a list just so they can verify, like, hey, yeah, here's their other laundromats, and these look great or whatever.
Prior to this is a bit of an affront, to be honest, because prior to drafting a lease, you're saying we want to see financials. Well, I don't want to call it a slap in the face. I'm not sure what else to call it.
Okay.
When I go to buy a car or a motorcycle or a Schwinn bike, I don't expect them to lock me in a room and say, let me see your social before we tell you what this lease is going to look like. And that's kind of how this feels. Now, let me say this. Your guarantor is Jeremiah. Jeremiah owns 0 laundromats. Jeremiah brought me on board.
Okay.
Because, look, you deal with probably, I don't know, how many leases do you deal with a year?
I don't know, 150.
Badass. Very nice. I deal with about 150 a month. Now,
yeah,
I'm no sour grapes. I'm not trying to impress anybody. These are just facts. These are numbers. They are finite. Now,
yeah, I understood.
The only leases I deal with are laundromat leases. Jeremiah brought me on board because he wants to do this right. Now, of those 150 that you deal with every year, how many of those people bring on a professional to help them? I already know the answer.
Right. I understand what you're saying, and that's appreciated.
These folks are passionate. Maybe they bake cookies for a living and always have, and they make the greatest cookies ever. And everybody tells them, you've got to start a bakery. Or maybe they're the greatest chef in the world, but they may or may not understand business. They may or may not understand the business aspect of that bakery or that pizzeria. Jeremiah, I don't know, his credit score is 730. I mean, but I don't see that matters. Here's the way laundromats work. I really want to get this across to you. This is different. And you can stop me.
I understand.
You can stop me if I'm wrong. Here's the way it works. A laundromat operator, and look, we both know that you have a failed operator in this space, that whatever financials they showed you, whatever experience they had, you want the new operator to have better experience, to have better financials. Hey, if somebody loses a business and they have $1 billion liquid, chances are you're not going to get any of it anyway. And we both know that. We both understand that. I'm very happy that you have all this experience. Here's how it works with a laundromat. That lease is what allows Jeremiah to go to the equipment, not the distributor, not the salespeople, but the manufacturer. And the manufacturer is the one in this industry that's going to happily fund his equipment purchase, because the only thing he's buying is equipment. He's not buying the business, God forbid. Try to buy a laundromat for $300,000. Your operator tried to sell theirs, they couldn't. If you make a deal, you go to a bank, any endemic financier, Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan, they're going to laugh you out of the place. No one is going to give you endemic financing to buy or build a laundromat. Why? Is it a terrible business? No, it's a phenomenal business. However, it's only a good business if you know how to get into it. It's only a good business if you know that the only thing you're going to buy at the right price is equipment. And that's where Jeremiah is set up. He's only going to be buying equipment, and he's only going to do it properly with my help, honestly. I can send you a list of my 36 locations, my 7 strip malls, all that. But I never wanted you to misunderstand that somehow he and I are in this together. He is your guarantor, and he has this massive leg up because I'm not going anywhere. Our agreement is for the life of his lease and the next store and the next. I'm an idiot. When I work with people, I under promise and overperform like you wouldn't believe. That's my thing.
Perfect. Okay. So, and I just need to get this across. Yeah, I need to get this across, to them. So
I know.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Of course, please.
Okay. So, I'm formulating what I can express with what you're sharing.
Sure.
And I can explain to them, like what your part in this is. They just want to feel confident. So even sending yours for me to show and for them to show, I mean, I'm telling you, like 85-year-old people, because it's a trust. It has people. So it doesn't matter if I can explain it to the person that can understand, but he has to be able to express it to this group of older people.
Sure.
So if he can pop up and go, look at this great laundromat, this great laundromat, this great laundromat, even if it's one that you, like you're saying, oh, I have a list, but they're not Jeremiah's. At least we can show that the person that is assisting him, at least they can just, I don't even think they'll go there. They're just going to here's some laundromats.
Honestly, I think you already have the verbiage, and I know you have the intelligence to simply say to them, look, what you have here is a unique flower. You have a tenant, a potential tenant that is moving forward with a quote unquote team behind him. And his success rate is in the 99 percentile, unlike someone that's that great baker or candlestick maker. That's it. That's all. And
or other offers that we have from laundromat people that have nobody helping them, and they're literally just.
I think I can make it work. You know what? Let me tell you this. I've been in this industry for 20-something years, and all of a sudden, the internet is interested. There are multi-quadrillionaires who are going online and starting laundromats because they think it's a fun, kitschy thing to do. It's really weird. Trust me, it's weird. So your door's getting knocked down by people that think, oh, I think it'd be cute to have a laundromat. Go ahead. What was the question?
So Jeremiah, so have you seen his finance? So what all they want to see, and this group, they understand, they even the financial statements, if it says you got a $2 million house and that's your asset or whatever, they don't care about that. This particular ownership, a lot of them do in our town, but they don't because they're like, we're not taking anybody's home because their business failed. They're just not those kind of people.
This is what I say to clients. If your business fails, the last thing that a landlord, especially a small one, is going to do is try to take your assets. Your business failed. That's bad enough. Now, if you have a poor relationship with them, or you call them funny names, or you text them in the middle of the night about a broken toilet, it might be different. But in my experience, and you know this, it's trying to get blood from a stone, especially when they have a proper setup LLC. And you ask something, and I don't want to go over it. I don't want to ignore it. I don't want to make it some cursory thing. Have I seen his financials? No, because I know that they don't matter. This is a working class guy.
Okay.
Who's African-American kid who's trying to better himself. This isn't some sweat equity thing. He's going to go with that lease in hand with a 15-year lease and 12 months abatement and 12 tons of air conditioning. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times all over the world. Imagine what that equipment, he's going to have manufacturers fighting over his business because he walks in and says, hey, there's one guy saying, I might maybe someday open a laundromat. Can you help me and figure out how I can get this done financially? Then you've got Jeremiah saying, look, I own a laundromat. This is my lease. All I need is equipment. They're going to be fighting over each other, crawling over each other to get this thing done. And that's what we do again and again. And you can have a contingency in the lease that if he's unable to perform, we could do this in writing. If he's unable to perform within 8 months and show you that the equipment is en route because it needs to be built, it's not like you go to Home Depot and buy it, then
Correct.
Quash the lease and you're in a better position than you were before.
Perfect. Okay. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, same. We will get this done because I want to see this young man in this store earning, and then maybe you find another laundromat in 6 months or 6 days or 6 years, and you say, oh my God, let's give this to Jeremiah because we've got a failed client.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, me too. Okay. All right. Well, I understand better, and I appreciate your words. It's going to help me move forward with the group, and we're still working on the exit of I checked on it today. The server still hasn't been able to locate them. We're trying to serve them in person. Because it'll expedite everything.
I hate to hear that, Janice, but if it wasn't for these failed operators in these laundromats that go into the store, A, not knowing what they're doing, B, thinking that it's just picking up gold out of the streets, because why doesn't everybody have a laundromat, right? It's absentee, it's turnkey. And C, they buy the business. I assume, because most people do, Jeremiah is being set up for success because he's not buying the business rights. He's not buying this guy out. Imagine that leg up.
Yeah.
And I hate to hear
this
about
guy's been here for decades, right?
Yeah.
He did open it up on his own, but it was decades ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he's just been there.
Decades ago, he spent the money to build it. And we are not doing that. Jeremiah is not doing that. That's, again, a leg up. It's sad, sure, on some levels. But if this guy would have retooled this store 6 months ago and come to you, hat in hand, asking for a long-term lease, you'd have given it to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he's done.
Yeah. And I get it.
He's retired. He's just not leaving in a nice way.
Right. Okay, I get you. So. Your business, not mine.
All
God bless.
Yeah, perfect.
Let me know what you need.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. No problem.
The monster under the bed. Let's talk about that. I'm a bit shot out of a cannon because this is the biggest monster under the bed for potential business owners. No credit, no financials, no experience, no problem. Bringing me on board, and this is not a fucking sales call, bringing me on board gives you a massive leg up. Just like I explained to her. And she's going to go explain, I didn't know that the landlords were older. Now I do. She let me in. She opened the door. You can't do that in a text or an email. She would never write that down and say, yeah, they're old, 85 plus. Doesn't that make you feel better? You feel more confident? Here I'm talking about feelings. Okay, we know who we're dealing with without asking. Sure, I interrupt people. Absolutely, I have a special way of talking. Different to men than women. Old school. My goal is to get you educated, get you understanding whether or not this business is even proper and right for you. None of it's easy. I can't speak to the lost sleep or texting me at 4:45 in the morning. Appreciate the guy's not going fishing. He's a tradesman. He'll be off work soon. Imagine the difference when he's got 2, 3, 4 locations up and running. Sammy says his monster under the bed is not enough money. Did you just hear this call? We've got a gentleman who's swinging a hammer for a living, who's positioned to own his store. I hope it happens. If it doesn't happen here, it will happen elsewhere. And the only stoppage in the process, the only hiccup in the belly, the only nut in the bolt, the only monkey in the wrench is that they said, we want some financials. And I said, ignore them when they ask for financials. So I could get on the phone and say what I said. Rewind it if you're just watching this. I said, I take it as an affront that you have the gall, the audacity to ask for financials before you provide a lease. Draft the lease. Not enough money, Sammy. So you're going to continue to do what, Sammy? Come in here and let us know. What do you do for a living? Because how will that change? How will you have enough money for fucking anything if you don't own a business, any business? Simeon Tribe says, not knowing exactly how much will a laundromat will net for sure. Holy shit. Jesus God. I'm afraid to open a laundromat because I don't know how much profit I'll end up with. If you buy a laundromat, you're buying someone's failure. You're giving them $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or less, $50,000, no big deal. You've given them $50,000 of your real dollars. You damn well better be fearful of whether or not it's ever going to net X. There's a dozen brand new gurus on YouTube that tell you, here's how to buy a laundromat. Do a letter campaign. What the fuck? Owner finance. You know why owner finance is a thing? Because there is no endemic financing, because a bank won't give you money to buy or build a laundromat. Because what I've been screaming for decades is true. You shouldn't buy or build a laundromat. And the banks know it because they use math. His fear is not knowing exactly how much the laundromat will net for sure. Good grammar, by the way. Profit. You scoop up the store for nothing through a lease negotiation. You bring the distributors in and you get the equipment at the right price, and then you start to profit. If, like the last guy, you're not in there schlubbing your ass in there and sweeping the floors every day, profit. His fear is if the distributor asks for down payment. Sammy, every single distributor asks for 30% down. Every single one of them. They pretend like it's just part of it. You know how many of my clients pay anything more than zero down? None. You just have to know how to do this. You're not doing this, Sammy. You're not going into this. You're not going to own a cash business that brings you millions of future dollars because you're afraid they'll ask for a down payment. First of all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't have money for a down payment, but you don't fucking need it. I said this already on this very call. I could call a dozen people right now who have 3, 6, 10, 12, 40, 80 laundromats. How much did you give for a deposit? Nothing.